Might as well. If we're
Well,
gonna
because
have a
you
rant,
know
you
we've
might
got the
as well
big
do it on the
conference.
show.
We got the big conference coming up, so I was like, shit, I need hard pants. I need like
Right.
non jeans, non pajama pants to wear in public. And I was like, shit, I can't find any pants. So I spent like $300 on pants, which is embarrassing. But
Wow.
they all came yesterday, and like none of them fit for all different reasons. They're all the same size, but one's too big, one's too small. So now I'm in like pants panic because I have like a week to find pants.
Oh man.
Maybe I should just wear dresses every day. It feels like way too extra, but I mean, that's also me.
It is Vegas too. I mean,
Yeah,
so
that's true. I mean,
yeah.
oh no, the girl with the blue hair is going to be too extra. God, I've got somebody who I'm meeting for the first time. I can't remember. I think they're from like they're one of the California groups. And he's just like, I'll find you at the trade show. How do I know which one is you? I'm like, well, there's like 5 women, and I'm going to be the tall one with blue hair. So
Yes,
will
exactly.
not be hard. Probably also be really loud.
I think that was that Raul that said that from the Ventura
Possibly,
group
like I've had a
or
bunch of people, and of course they're like, "Oh, Brett said to get in touch with you." Like, sounds great. Let's hang out. If Brett sent you my way, then you're probably pretty cool.
no, it wasn't Raul. It was Eric. Eric of from the Fresno group.
Yes, it was Fresno. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's a good guy. It's he's very, very interested to learn, and I think that he's kind of been held back for a while. So it's good that he's gonna be able to get out and be able to
stretch
start
those
talking to
wings.
people. Yeah, exactly.
I'll
I
try
think
not to
he's
scare him too much.
I
Giant
don't know.
blue-haired woman with cowboy boots. Hey there, little guy. I
Well,
feel like
yeah, he is shorter than you. Uh
well, and this is like the thing, like you're the same way as me. Like as an extroverted person, I feel like now I'm just like even more extroverted when I meet people, and they're just terrified because everybody's had this traumatic pandemic happening, and now things are opening up, and they're having social events, and they're just like, oh my god,
yeah.
sorry,
How to socialize
I'm
anymore?
gonna
Yeah.
hug you. Like no, I apologize, especially to my introvert friends. This is gonna be like suck city for you for a while, but
Yeah,
good
there's
for
going to be a
us.
lot of loud people in a lot of small places for quite a while, but
Yeah, yeah.
no, you can't really
But
expect anything else.
hey, we're doing a podcast, which is like a loud thing in a
Hey,
small space. Your ears, I guess. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you loonies.
yeah, no one watches on YouTube. I don't even know why I keep posting it on there, but
Because we're gorgeous.
exactly. People need to see all of this. Actually, it's more the beach backgrounds
Yeah,
and
I
everything
love to
else that
see
I.
you're back on the beach, which is why I'm
Yep.
drinking Kona Big Wave tonight. Well,
Oh,
it's not really why,
beautiful.
but I mean, I love Kona Big Wave, so
Kona Big Way is really good.
yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's a
I'm
good go-to
drinking
beer.
Shiner Toasted Amber Lager.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
sounds delightful. Yeah,
yeah.
Shiner's also
It's
another, like everything they put out is pretty good.
yeah. I have to say, I always am quite pleased with Shiner. Um, I actually am actually quite surprised whenever I drink a new Shiner. I was just like, oh, this has got to be the one that I don't like. No,
Yeah,
it's
they,
pretty good.
they
It's
had a
it's
weird
got a
strawberry one last year, and I was just like, very good.
it's good. Yeah. For some reason, the beer always tastes more crisp, even though I mean, they're more or less mass produced at this point. I mean,
Sure.
because there was that little beer brewery that you could only get in Texas,
Right.
and whenever you
Small
would go,
batches,
yeah,
sprinkled with
but
love.
yeah,
I'm sure
not
they still sprinkle love
anymore.
in there, obviously. It's beer.
hmm Tons of love to go around.
Round and
All right.
round.
So we are doing this podcast, and we've been talking a lot about different things and stuff that we're getting into, and we decided to just go back on old fallback for us, which is talking about music. There's been a lot that I've been getting into recently, and I had a hell of a time trying to figure out. So what I did is I actually went through my Spotify playlist. There we go. My spot list. I was just gonna try to
A
put them
spot
all
list,
together
that's
into
what I
one.
call it.
Yeah,
Kids are calling it because they're cool.
absolutely. That's what the new kids are calling it. The new old kids that are listening to weird music. Um, so yeah, so I went through and I was just like, oh, you know what? I haven't talked about that one. I haven't talked about actually I had to go back into we do have a playlist going.
Oh,
Uh
nice.
yeah, if you're on
Yeah, as I
Spotify,
said,
you
we
look
haven't done it
for
for a while, so that's why I was like, oh, we gotta dust off the music episode. We're due.
yes. So
Mostly
if
because I
you
want to
want
hear all the weird stuff you've been listening to, because your tastes always seem to be just like all over the place, and I love
it
it.
is. It is all over the place. It's in fact, it's really hard to be able to just nail down something that I want to listen to for a while. I think I'm getting into a rut, but at the same time, my rut is like so expansive. I mean, it's just it's a really
It's a
wide
real
net
big rut
rut.
energy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I listen to this is what my listening styles go to right now. On Mondays, I listen to the Discover Music on Spotify. So it procures a brand new list every Sunday actually, but I listen to it on Mondays. So I always listen to that on Monday. I always listen to ska on Friday.
I was gonna say Friday ska day.
Exactly.
Law.
I listen to usually a lately it's been a Katamari Damacy type of playlist
Nice.
on a one day. The next day I'll do a what's it called? The girl rock type bands. Like
Girl
so
rock.
girl
Riot
or
girl.
yeah, exactly. So it's women fronted punk bands.
Sweet.
And then I'll try to, for that last day, I'll try to get something new in there. And unfortunately, I just found probably my best, my most favorite playlist. And it is a new genre. But or new to me, I guess. But before I've talked a lot before I get into this, and I talked about how I've been listening to music and everything. What about you? What do you usually do for your music listening habits?
Oh, this is probably blasphemy because I think we're actually like technically platformed by Spotify, but I usually listen to Pandora.
Oh yeah. So
I've been really
we could talk about that too,
streaming fights. No.
Well, see, I used to be a Pandora person through and through. I loved Pandora. Had my stations on Pandora, and I loved when they had new things. I loved when they introduced the lesser cuts or whatever they're called, so you can actually have the versionings of different songs that are out there. However, talking about getting in his rut, I ended up always having the same songs over and over and over again, no matter which station I was listening to or what was out there. And it just seemed like the list that I had was not very expansive. It was like an hour long or an hour and a half, and then it started looping itself. I was like, I'm listening. So the one station or playlist that I'm listening to on Spotify, it's got 215 songs and 14 hours worth of music on it. So I know that I'm going to have something new, and it's got multiple of artists in that, so I can listen to the same artist a couple times during that time. But it's not. I shouldn't be able to hear the same song, 3 or 4 times in a work day.
Yeah, that makes sense. I usually use Pandora for classical music. I listen to a lot of movie soundtracks, and so it's a little less obvious if I am hearing things again and again. I have a couple stations that like are as weirdly mixed as possible. It's like, well, I want David Bowie, I want Glass Animals, I want Billie Holiday, and the Chromatics, and it keeps the variety there. But I mean, I also get interrupted so many times. It's a little less of an issue. I do have a Spotify account, and I've got a couple of playlists and some stations I listen to, and there's some podcasts that I listen to that are exclusive on Spotify. So I would say it's like I'm kind of bounced around. I also listen to a lot of just like YouTube mixes too. So it's a little bit of everything. I've been really getting back into synthwave and chillwave again, just because it's been pretty stressful. So having like just really chill, relaxing music has been really fun. I really love Mazzy Star, and so like Chromatics and Cigarettes After Sex have been like one of my two favorite things to listen to because it's just this sultry like 80s synth lyrics, and it's just like it's like honey poured in your ears, and it's gorgeous music, and it's really relaxing.
A warm hug.
Yeah, it's a warm fuzzy hug, even if the lyrics are really dark.
Yeah.
But that's been kind of what I'm getting into. I also really enjoy Mr. Kitty, which I don't know how I missed Mr. Kitty. I think he's actually came out like the early 2010s, but his song After Dark is just chef's kiss. Could just listen to it on loop forever.
Nice. I saw you were posting about that. I have to say I haven't been able to listen to that yet. I don't know if I've completely missed Mr. Kitty, unfortunately.
Well, and I have this weird thing, and maybe it's a writer or an artist thing where I will get tracks I really like and I will just loop them. Like for an hour. I use them for timing. So if I'm gonna sit and write for an hour, I will.
Oh,
I have a Mr. Kitty After Dark song that's just a full hour of the song looping. And I've got a couple other that it's just kind of like, I don't know, like it almost hypnotizes you in a way.
okay.
It's not for everybody, but kind of reminds me of you're a kid and you get that CD and there's that one track you really love and you're just like boom, 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 boom over that song over and over again. Like I still do that all the time, and I know it drives at least my significant other insane, but
yeah, I never was able to get into that. I always liked getting the full albums for CDs or whatever, so I could hear everything else that was on there. My thing was that I always wanted to be the person that I liked a song that came out by a person. They just came out. I wanted to buy the album so that I could listen to every single song on there, so that when that next song comes out by that same person on that album, you can say, yep, I've been listening to that for a while. I heard that. I enjoy that, and then me being the kind of guy that I am, is say, oh, you like that one? Oh, let me introduce you to 3 or 4 other things that I've been listening to that's going to be very similar to that. So,
well, and I think it's really, so The Weeknd came out with a new album like a month ago. I mean, like I said, time means nothing, 2022.
right.
It's such a fun concept album. I'm not sure if you're a fan of The Weeknd, but as somebody who loves like the fact that he sounds like Michael Jackson already, and this whole album it sounds like an early like 90s radio station. The album's called Dawn FM, and like they have bumpers like a radio. There's commercials. The songs are just hooked, like they're just perfect earworms. It's a really fun album, and just as like a concept, it's really fun and immersive. So when you're looking for like an album to sit down and just listen to start to finish, like that's a really, really fun ride.
Sure. When I was in California, I was listening to radio stations out there because I had a hell of a time trying to get set up with my phone. So podcasts weren't a thing that I was able to do. It was funny. I did listen to quite a few of the Weeknd's songs, and I was just like, I just don't. I don't. Yeah, but
okay
I will say they're catchy. They are. They're
it's pop music. Songs. I mean, at the end of the day, it's
pop music. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why it's like it really has that Michael Jackson kind of appeal. And if I'm not mistaken, gosh, I thought Quincy Jones is the producer on this latest album, which probably explains that heavy influence. But yeah, absolutely. It's fun. I didn't really love it the first time I listened through to it, but the more I've listened to it, it's really grown on me.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So that is a good transition to something that I know that I was going to bring up if you weren't going to bring it up first, but I'm going to use it as a transition. Oliver Tree.
Oh, yes.
I know you are. You swoon
I'm
over
such a
him.
fan.
I know. So I like his stuff. I love his videos most of all.
Yes.
But I have such a tough time with Oliver Tree because one, I know that it's an act. It's not. Yeah. It's completely.
He wears a wig, guys.
Yeah. What? I thought that
what?
was real.
Next thing you know, you can tell me Santa's not real, Leah.
What?
We're just destroying dreams, guys.
So I know that it's an act, and there's something that for me when you're acting and being disingenuous, which I guess, I mean, is I like actors, I like acting, but I, for some reason, when you put yourself out there saying, oh yeah, this is really me, and it's not you, when I learned that the whole Cletus T. Judd, or Larry the Cable Guy, and just aren't
Right?
really that type of person, but they just act that way just so that they can sell records. I was like, I don't, it doesn't,
The
it
magic is
doesn't
broken.
sit. It doesn't sit well with me. I don't know why it doesn't sit. And then the other part that I have a tough time with his music is it is such bubblegum pop songs. I mean, and that's, I mean, I understand that's what you get
Are you
them.
mad because you're not supposed to like this? Is that
I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But
Nick, we're having a
I
breakthrough
do
here?
like it. It's just, it's too, it probably is. It's probably that guilty pleasure that is just like, I really shouldn't like this. And that's why I'm just conflicted. I'm conflicted inside.
I would say I found out about Oliver Tree on Reddit, like you do, because somebody posted a video, was like, this is bonkers. And
Right.
my friend Nick made this rule up, and I think it's a good one to live by, which his rule is like the first time you have to listen to a song, you have to just listen to it. You're not allowed to watch the music video because you
Yeah.
will automatically make a bad association if it's like a bad music video. So we listened to it. I was just like, this is a really fun, catchy song. And then I watched the video. I was like, oh my God, this is great.
See, I think the song is too simple the first time I listened to it without watching the video. And then I watched the video and it's like, okay, I get it. All right.
Now it's just elevated. I mean,
Right,
I
right.
really enjoy, gosh, it was right before the pandemic, because he actually had a pretty big, mental breakdown at the start of the pandemic. And I applaud him for being really transparent and open about it with all his fans, saying like, this is too much. I'm not going to make music. I don't know if I can be an artist anymore.
But was that true? Was that an act?
I don't know if it was. I mean, like he went
That's
on all
you can't,
media and stuff, but
you can't, you don't
I don't
know
know.
what
It,
to
it
believe,
feels like the class clown that finally realized, like, maybe the joke only goes so far. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe this, especially like usually the funniest people are the darkest inside.
Right.
They're so busy worried about everybody else laughing, they don't take care of anything inside. So I mean, I
Right.
believe some of that came from a genuine place, but I haven't
Sure.
listened to his new album. I know he's been. I listened. Okay, I take that back. I listened to one single from it because it's all very country, which I'm here for. But
Right. Cowboys Don't Cry.
oh yes.
Yeah. So, and then the other part that I'm conflicted about is that I love oh shit, I can't even remember their name right now. The ones that do Skibidity, the Russian group.
Russian group.
Yes.
Like Tattoo?
No. No. Oh my gosh. They did the they were going to be a part of the global pop thing, Eurovision. They were going to be a part of Eurovision in 2021, and it got canceled, so they weren't able to be the Russian Eurovision selection. Oh my gosh, everyone is screaming at their podcast right now because I can't remember their name. It's got the guy that's got 1985 put the tattooed on his stomach, and fuck. I hate my memory sometimes. I can remember the
Drink
weirdest
more, that
things.
helps.
I can remember the weirdest things, but whenever I need to, bring something when it's important, it never is there. It's Little Big.
Okay. No idea.
Little Big. Yeah.
You're talking to somebody who just turned out that there's apparently a country band called Little Big Town.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it before, but apparently they're playing next week and I'm going to their concert. And when Alex told me about work, I was like, is this like the Wiggles? Is this like a kid's thing?
No, Little Big
He's like,
Town's
you've never
been
heard of
around
Little
for a
Big
long
Town? I'm
time.
just like, is it a Fisher Price thing? Like, I just want to know what to wear. And he's like, get out of my office.
That's hilarious.
I don't keep up with much.
Yeah, Little Big
Broadcasting from a
Town's been
basement. I live under a rock.
Little Big Town's been around for a long time. But Little Big, yeah, they so when they first came out, they were more of a, I don't know, it was kind of a rave type of a
Okay.
band, Russian rave, and you didn't really understand everything, but they had a couple of little people that were a part of the band, and that's kind of where the Little Big came from. And they have these huge personalities,
I was
and
like, if there's not a tiny version of Stonehenge on stage, out.
exactly.
It's a Spinal Tap
So,
reference for any of our younger listeners who aren't cool enough to know what Spinal Tap is.
so there's one song that they did that you would absolutely love. It's called Hypno Dancer. And during the whole video, they go around and they're like trying to play poker, and instead it's Uno cards. And what they do is they play the cards a little bit, and then
Nice.
at one point they lay down the cards, they get up onto the table, and they start doing a dance to hypnotize everyone. And then they steal their money after they're hypnotized. I mean, so these videos that they do,
Taking
they're
notes for Vegas next week.
right,
Yes.
right. The videos they do are really weird, off the wall. They're wacky, but at the same sense, I like their music.
You still like the
too.
music.
Yeah, yeah. So Skibidity was one that came out that had a dance that was tied to it, and you had to do the dance, and it was done a certain way, and it was huge in Russia, but it didn't really get
Didn't get the love elsewhere. Probably not going to
it
now,
didn't.
but
Yeah, but they had, yeah. Oh my gosh. So, and they've done songs with Oliver Tree, and Tommy Cash is another one that is kind of like
like
that as
parody
well.
singing, I guess. I mean, they're like parody bands, I guess, maybe, but like the niche audience.
Yeah, but I mean, so they're more of a video band than they are a musical band, in all honesty. So, but yeah, their song Uno, which is hilarious that it's a Spanish word for a Russian group that was competing at Eurovision 2020, not 2021, but
Okay, I was gonna say, it feels like this might have been a little bit longer ago.
yeah, it wasn't too long, but yeah. So yeah, Little Big, I love listening to them, and I would say if you have time to just look at any of their videos, you'll see they're just off the wall bonkers. It's so much fun.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I was just looking real quick because I remember I ran into a friend of mine that's a DJ, and we're just like, he just got done like traveling around the country, DJing in all these big cities and stuff. And we're just like, oh, like what the hell are you getting into? And he like named this guy that I'd never heard of before, and his music is just like the best, worst thing I've ever heard. I'll have to look for it another time, but I will say, as a segue, a DJ I have been getting into. DJ Abilities released a new album. I think it was before Christmas. So everybody who's a big fan of Ideas and Abilities was a huge fan. Obviously, Ideas passed away, and I think this might be one of the first albums DJ Abilities has put out since Ideas passing. It's called Phonograph Phoenix. It's super fun, high energy, like this kid's got talent. I mean, he's probably older than me, but like, yeah, it's a really fun album. It's been pretty much playing nonstop in my car and giving me life on my boring commute, which is really only like 10 minutes, but still.
Right, exactly.
Boring 10 minutes.
What is it? What did you say it was called again? What Phoenix?
It's called Phonograph Phoenix.
Phonograph Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah, it's really fun. I've got like, I literally still have like the CD of when DJ Abilities came to Sioux Falls, like 15 years ago. And
wow, nice.
I'm just like, it's all scratched up and terrible. So I only know the songs because of where it skips.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
It's definitely like a millennial, like Gen Z thing or a Gen X thing where you're like, oh, I have my CDs ripped and they have like a scratch. So I'm just used to hear that song with that part be like skipping or being weird.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you just hope that you don't have another scratch that comes in that makes another skip, because then that might be the end of that CD.
I know, I know.
I've
I have
yeah,
a
way
couple
too
like that.
often.
Our
Yes.
Subaru still has a CD player, so it's always a treat to ride the Subaru. Just like, oop, I'm putting my TLC CD in. Boop boop.
Crazy
Look at me
sexy
chasing them
girl.
waterfalls, bitches. We're
Oh.
old listeners, and if you're not aware of that, then just you might be lost.
All right. So since you're talking about DJ abilities and stuff like that, I'm going to bring up another artist, hip hop artist that you know, Aesop Rock or Aesop.
Yes.
Yeah, Aesop Rock. He has a group. He's a part of a group. Did you know that?
I know he's been he released an album recently re-collaborating with Blockhead, which has me excited because I really think that some of his best work was done collaborating with Blockhead. I like the old school Aesop. I mean, kind of like everything he does, but like something about that old, I don't know, Blockhead's got a great sense of rhythm.
Yeah.
But
So
what's the other group?
so
Is it the
this
Moldy
group is
Peaches?
it's no, and it's an older, it looks like they've been around for a while. But it's called the Uncluded, and it's himself and a folk singer songwriter called Kimya Dawson.
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah,
from the Moldy Peaches.
Moldy Peaches. Yeah,
I have their
exactly.
album.
Yeah.
It's
So
delightful.
so those two together, they made a song, or I'm sorry, they made a group called the Uncluded. They didn't really do much, I don't
I
think,
think it's
but
just one album that they have, but
yeah.
it's a
So
weird
they
juxtaposition.
yeah, they did Delicate Cycle is the name of the song that I've been listening to, and I introduced the kids to, and they keep wanting to listen to it over and over again, because it's definitely got both talents going on at the same time, and it kind of it passes back and forth, and it's just it's beautiful. It has an amazing theme to it. uh My Life is a Delicate Cycle is the main part of it,
Mhm.
and it's beautiful. So that's something that I've been getting into and getting the kids into recently. So
Man, now I got to revisit that album. It's so good.
yeah.
And also to clarify for, again, I assume our super young audience, this is Aesop Rock, not ASAP Rocky. It's totally different.
Oh, I don't know that.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Nope, Aesop Rock, completely different.
Yeah. Check out Rhymesayers Entertainment. Yeah,
Yes.
you'll find it there. But
Yes. Absolutely. All right. What else you getting into?
oh, I've been so excited. So Orville Peck's new album came out, Bronco.
Oh,
It is glorious from start to finish. He is a magic man and he has an amazing voice. His new I know you're listening, Orville. I love you. But Come On Baby Cry, one of the singles off there. There's a gorgeous video. He just has such an amazing voice. Like, as somebody who does not like country, like Orville Peck's the only thing. Well, Orville Peck and Sturgill Simpson are the only people giving me hope for that music, like that whole genre of music. But oh my goodness, he's coming to First Avenue in June. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to get some tickets. Oh my
oh
god.
yeah. Oh yeah, you could find plenty to do during Jen.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so definitely check out Orville Peck's new album Bronco. It's just great. It really is. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's no Metalachi, but
Right.
well, and it's funny. And the only reason I know it's coming to First Avenue is that so I'm going to my first concert, like real concert post pandemic or
Yeah.
during the pandemic. I don't know. At First Avenue, Dusty has a band he loves called Deaf Heaven.
Okay.
It's like shoegaze is, I think, technically the genre. I'm not wild about it. I'll listen to it. It's kind of nice, kind of background music, but it's one of his favorite bands, and they're coming to First Avenue next month. So we've got tickets to go see them, and
Nice.
so I'm excited just to get out and do something and see some live music. And
Yeah.
Even if
Well,
it's
and
not a real
First
bad.
Avenue is one of those
It's such an awesome venue.
places. Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why it has withstanded the test of time, just because it's set up great and they got great people that work there at it. So
Yeah, and
it's
I
really
feel good
nice.
at they're requiring vaccination, proof of vaccination and tests. I'm sure we're gonna mask while we're there too, just because it's a concert. I mean, I kind of feel like even like before the pandemic, you should wear a hazmat suit at a concert.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right.
What
You
else you got in your
know,
hit list?
well, so I want to talk about this song because it goes through my it goes through my head a lot and it really shouldn't.
Is
But
it the Hey
there's a
song? Because
song.
that's every day in my head. No, 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 no. Hey, no, 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 no. Me and Homer Simpson have way more in common than you'd think.
Oh my.
You're like, same.
I burnt out on that when I was in pep band in high school because we played
Yeah.
that all the
I
time.
exercised the jock jams from my brain.
Right, exactly.
You were smart.
There's a song that's called Drugs, and it's by a girl named Upsahl, a Upsahl, and it's just it's just a song about she's at this party. It's like a high school party type thing, and she's talking to people and she's like, oh yeah, okay, really cool, good deal. All right, well, you know what, I just came here for the drugs. And so it's like, I didn't come here to make a friend or fall in
I didn't
love.
come here to make friends. I came
Yeah,
here for drugs.
exactly.
Oh my God.
It's just like, you know, I remember those parties and I remember those
Really?
days.
Because I'm pretty sure I did not get invited to those parties.
All right,
It's not
maybe I hosted those parties.
I'm like, I'm not a druggie because I didn't like dare to say no. I just didn't get invited to those fucking parties.
Right, right. I remember the house parties that would happen then. And granted, it was a lot of booze, and I would think that it's still the same when you're pre 21 and you're going to a house party and you're there for the alcohol. It's the same thing, type thing. But I heard the song first and I fell in love with the song. I just thought it was hilarious and it stuck in my head. So I went to see if there was a video for it, and the video was hilarious. So it explain. I mean, the video is exactly what it explains, except all the drugs they're doing is like pixie sticks
Like
and
candy?
glitter and just
Yeah, I got to keep it G-rated. I want a parody version with Weird Al of this song, but instead he's showing up to people's parties just to hang out with their cats.
There you go.
Just call it Cats.
I could see we're doing. I just came here for the hugs.
Yeah,
that'd be the Kids Bop version.
I came here for hugs. You really got to stop inviting her. It's very strange. I mean, I need a hug too. Every once in a while, I like to wear my socks that just say, "I'm gonna fucking hug you." It's like,
oh my. Then again, I used to host the parties that I it would always end with everyone watching Orgasmo.
as you should.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, I remember trying to rent that at what is it, a Hollywood Video, and like walking down from Augie, and we asked for Orgasmo. Like, we don't really have movies like that. We're kind of a family place. We're like,
right, because it was
it's from the
technically
makers of,
NC-17.
South Park. It's a comedy. Oh, well, I don't think we have that either.
Yeah, I think you could
Losers.
only get it at Video Mania. Yeah.
Man, I miss that place. They're big, weird neon lights, and
Yes, and it just the porn door
yeah,
going to the
I
back.
I always
Oh,
love like how you could tell it was like a local video store because they have like the beaded curtain in the back room for
yes.
adults only.
Yes.
Oh man,
Oh, it's so
it's
funny.
a different time, kids.
And that's the best thing part about that when thinking about a different time and thinking about Video Mania is that they didn't have their own card. You always had a video card.
Yeah,
They just took a label and they wrote on the back or on the label on the back of your driver's license, and you had to present that to them.
I like that. Part of me's wanted to turn we've got a really small little basement. And I was like, oh man, I want to turn our basement into like a 90s themed video rental store. Yeah, just where our TV is, like we can do some racks. And then because like I have this little room that's my office, and I have curtains up when people are over so close, like, oh, we could put the like adults only.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Perfection. I love a good theme room.
Oh man.
You derailed that train. So what other music are you getting into other than music about drugs?
So the other thing, since we're getting a little bit longer into it, so I don't have to go into, there's been a couple of just individual songs that I've been getting into, and like I said, I kind of went through and took a look at the liked songs that I've done. However, this is the big tease that I had. This genre, I've never heard of it, or I never heard of this type of music being referred to this way, and it's called indie sleaze. Have you heard of indie sleaze music?
Is it just like folk music made with like sound effects from pornography? Like I'm just trying to figure out like what exactly that would be.
Right,
indie sleaze.
Right. So I was like
porn music.
I don't think that's just something that I'm new to, but so I'm a part of a group called Sound On Facebook that it's just a bunch of people that like sharing videos and everything, and they've been talking about indie sleaze a lot. So I'm just like, oh, I'm kind of like a couple of those groups that they've been talking about. And so then I found a Spotify playlist that was indie sleaze, and it is, I tell you, it is the perfect playlist.
Writing it down. I'm gonna check it out tomorrow. Report back to you.
So here's some. I'm not gonna get into music or songs or anything, but here's some of the artists. Okay, and some of these I don't understand how they go together, other than they might have had songs that were related at the time. So I kind of think of this as kind of a college radio type of lineup in the I wouldn't even say early aughts, I'd say mid aughts, maybe.
Okay.
So TV on the Radio.
Okay.
MGMT.
Yeah.
Rat-a-tat.
Mm-hmm.
The Strokes.
Yep.
MIA.
Why
Metric.
is it called indie sleaze? I'm like, this is just like garage band music from the mid aughts.
Right. So that's why it's just like, I think that's where the sleaze comes from. I think it's a more evolved way of saying grunge music.
Grunge, yeah, it's not. Well, yeah. I mean, it's true because it isn't technically like grunge rock.
Right. Right. So you have ones like Goldfrapp, Santa Gold, La Tigre, the Yeah Yeah Yes, the Ting Tings, Feist. Yeah. I mean, they all kind of fit in, but I think it's more that they were all kind of around at the same time. They even had the Fratellis, the Dandy Warhols, Kings of Leon, LCD Sound System in there. And I was just like, I don't know if it actually really works together, but the playlist is amazing. I love the playlist. They even have Chromeo in there. I noticed that was in there, and it's just like
some Chromeo. Oh,
yeah, absolutely
interesting. So I was just looking up what indie sleaze, and indie sleaze is apparently a whole aesthetic, which is like and so this is the thing that scares me, because it says indie sleaze signifies a return to little mustache tattoos on the inside of your index fingers and block party soundtrack debauchery, or at least the aesthetic circumcrum of that. Interesting.
And it's funny, it's such a weird sentence that you said, but yeah, I can see it. I live that. I know exactly what I know,
and I'm like, but we just did this.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not mad. I'm actually
just confused.
Yeah.
Like it feels like I feel like it's too soon to have nostalgia for something that was only like 10 years ago.
So, that's an odd thing to say right now, because I was listening to NPR this morning, and they were talking about, what was it? The TV show Euphoria?
Yes.
And I haven't seen the show. I know very little about it, but they were talking about in the show that they you don't really understand what genre, I'm sorry, what timeline that they're in, because they kind of dress like
It's the 90s.
early, yeah, well, 90s or early aughts, but yet they recommend or
They're all
talk
using
about
modern
things in the
technology.
20s. Yeah. So it's just like they were talking about how it's weird that that show brings nostalgia to things that just happened like 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I think a lot of that also comes from the fact that I think they only have one writer. Like they don't have a showroom.
oh,
So normally a lot of shows you have a showrunner and then you have
right.
a team of writers. I think it's just one guy,
I
like
love that.
an old guy, like a guy
Yeah,
in his
but
like 50s.
okay.
So I think that informs some of that. But I mean, I think it's interesting when you look at like the lens of nostalgia in that sense. And I think nostalgia is interesting. Like I don't know, I feel like forever ago, like getting obsessed with hauntology and the whole idea of like nostalgia breaking down
Mm.
as we move into the future, because as we keep mining things closer and closer, like yeah,
Yeah,
you start losing cultural traction, and then like it's weird because it feels like that's what we're experiencing. You know, when we grew up, there was a huge nostalgia for like 60s and 70s stuff. You know, the stuff our parents are into. We had
right.
bell bottoms were back, and a lot of hippie kind of stuff and flower power stuff. And then in the 2010s, the grunge kind of stuff was coming back, and now it feels like we don't really know what's going on. It's all kind of back and weird.
Right.
I mean, maybe that just speaks to just like the paralysis of our culture right now. We're just,
Well, and that's what they talked about, is that it's just like,
yeah,
the pandemic, they feel that or how they were saying is that the pandemic really kind of oddly put that part where it's like, okay, yes, that was only 3 years ago or 4 years ago. However, it was a different time,
yeah,
because of the pandemic and everything that we've had to go through over the last 2.5, 3 years. So it's hard not to be nostalgic for the before times, but
yeah,
the before times was still only 3 years ago or 4 years ago. you know it's the same reason why I have a tough time with songs that come out, or even movies right now that come out that they're only like 10 years away or less than that from the original, and yet they're remaking it like this, like Batman and the Spider-Man
because there's
and
so much
everything like
money to
that.
make.
Oh my gosh, I could not believe unfortunately, I don't have any England to watch the new Batman movie. And I loved Batman movies. I loved all of them. But this new one, I was just like, why? Why are we doing this? We've already done this.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with Batman because I think that the fact that a Batman movie seems to come out every 10 years or every 20 years seems to be like a really unique cultural lens. Because even revisiting like the Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight series
Right.
it's so wild when you start looking how like the lens of 9/11 coloring all of the film of the early 20th century or the 21st century. I mean, it's
Mm,
it's a thing where I think about like as somebody interested in film and like screenwriting, like it's going to be 20 years before we really see how the pandemic and like the Trump era and the stuff that's happening in Europe right now is echoed in popular
right.
culture, because a lot of that stuff isn't made until years after it's written or even really
However,
shot.
I would say that some of that's already happening now on the television side of things.
Oh yeah, because it's faster.
Right,
I,
right,
I think right
exactly.
now we're this like last year we're probably seeing stuff that was actually written in 2020,
Right, right.
2021. So
Yeah,
we're gonna keep seeing stuff, and it's interesting too in like a very like non-official way that like cinema and movies don't really want to address the pandemic.
right,
We don't want
right,
people in masks in movies,
right.
and that's
Yeah.
been a kind of interesting conscious choice. I
Mm-hmm,
get it,
mm-hmm.
because television and movies are supposed to be escapist. No one wants to
Right.
see that kind of stuff on the screen, but I'm going to give it about the 8 years and we're going to have biopics and movies about that. We're going to have
Yeah.
cringy like biopics about the doctor that invented the thing or the
Right.
nurse that saved people. Like, I mean, it's just how Hollywood kind of works. I mean, think
True.
about how long we had to wait to get a 9/11 movie.
Right. Yeah. Well, and the thing also I think is interesting is I completely lost my train of thought.
Toot toot.
Dude, there it goes.
It goes that
Um,
train.
oh shoot. The shit, I had something there. I'm
That's
just
all right.
off today. Holy fuck. All right.
I mean, yeah. My brain cells have been just shot. So I mean, not that I'm gonna blame sweet beer for that, but yeah, I think everyone's focus and composure has been really hard, and especially with the Russian invasion, it's been interesting, like talking to younger people who don't remember. I was like, oh, this is exactly what it was like after 9/11. Everyone was really weird. Everyone was really on edge. Everyone was like the equivalent of the early 2000s doom scrolling, because you're still expected to keep the lights on and go to work and do normal things, and yet you're still just worried about everything.
Right.
Plus, there's a pandemic.
Yeah. I remember what I was going to talk about now. What I was going to say is that I think it's interesting, these shows and movies that came out in the kind of weird place right before the pandemic or even during the pandemic, that deals with pandemic type of situations. I mean, you definitely have ones that have been out for a while, Outbreak and stuff like that. But even having some TV shows that came out, and having to have disclaimers on the screen saying this was done, this was purely fictional, this was done before the pandemic, we didn't basically saying we didn't realize that we
didn't know this, we're not responsible for it.
We didn't know that this was actually going to happen. Please don't think that we are the cause of this, because what we did here was very true to what actually happened.
There was an indie film called The Pink Cloud.
Oh, okay.
And it was shot before the pandemic. It came out in 2021. But basically, like, the whole premise of the movie is that there's this dark, mysterious pink cloud that covers the globe, and no one can leave their house or they'll die.
Yeah. Oh,
and like the filmmakers had to put a disclaimer, and they're just like, I mean, the thing, like, we're not going to sell this movie. No one wants to watch it because it's too close to reality. And like, because it's all about people like going insane, having to shelter in place. Like, it looks like a phenomenal movie. I'm like, it's going to be a long time before I can watch this. I'll be honest. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Some Brazilian filmmaker, kudos to you. I'm sure it's fantastic. It looks like it's gorgeous on the trailers, but I just can't.
Well, and that's, I guess that might be also the scary part, is that there were a good deal of those types of shows, those types of movies that were kind of coming out at the time. And, if movie theaters or people think that that's what's going to be coming, that's what you're going to see,
and it's kind of an interesting thing, because I always feel like people really want like media to also be a mirror. I think it kind of explains why something like Squid Games was so popular. Like, can you think of something more dystopian than Squid Games? Like,
right.
Holy cow! But it was like the biggest show that Netflix had, or even
Tiger King was the same way too. I mean,
a little bit, but like even Don't Look Up, it's just literally about people ignoring a meteor. Like, those are both smash runaway international hits, and it's just like, why are you watching this? This is too much like reality. But I think that in some ways it helps validate some of the feelings people are experiencing. And sometimes there can be catharsis in seeing fictional characters, untangle some of those emotional knots that you're going through. So, I mean, at the end of the day, do what you want to do, watch what you want to do. Like, there's no wrong way to enjoy media right now. Like, I'm not going to judge you, at least.
Right. I might.
Maybe.
That's just what I do.
Just listen to the bands we suggest. I don't know. I'm like, maybe I'm into this indie sleaze thing. I mean, I'm definitely into the music because I love all the music from that.
I know. That's what I was.
I've just never heard the term before, which is just weird, and it kind of sounds dumb. I'll be honest. We could have done better.
But I mean, if you think of it as a newly marketed grunge,
that's pretty much what it is, like grunge 2.0.
Yeah. And
hey, if it gets people to experience those bands, because they're all great bands.
I'm surprised that I didn't see, honestly, I'm surprised I didn't see AWOL Nation in there. I mean, Sale is just 100% grunge. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'd say the only other thing I'm getting into, and it's just because of Zooks, is one of my favorite bands that I've seen in concert. They Might Be Giants.
oh, really?
Little
Yeah.
guy is
Oh,
getting really big into science stuff, big into the planets for a while and human bodies. So I've introduced him to They Might Be Giants, which is probably his new favorite band. We've been listening to the Sun song a lot, but
my kids
they're
love
great.
that song. Oh
Yeah,
my
they're so
gosh.
good. Yeah, They Might Be
Yes.
Giants awesome. I got to see them actually like a month before Zooks was born. We got tickets to go see them in Omaha. So Zooks got to see them in utero, but it was a fantastic concert. They put on a
Oh,
great
I
show.
bet. I bet. They're just some really fun guys too. Well, and then the nice thing is too is that they have a ton of family music too.
Oh
You know, they
yeah,
have
their
the
educational
mouth.
songs and just their
Yeah.
pop songs, like everything they do is great.
Yes.
Keep up the
Yes.
good work, guys. They
Yes.
know your listeners.
Exactly. They yeah, they're listeners too. Of
Definitely,
course.
definitely.
I remember they got a math CD or a math album, a science one. They have an album about states and state
Ooh.
capitals. Yeah.
We'll have to listen to that when we get there. We're still very much interested in planets and the human body, which is
Oh, perfect.
interesting. Yeah. I love coming home and be like, this is the size of your heart, Mom. Like, thanks. That kind of sounds like a threat, but thanks, baby.
I always love it when we watch a TV show or something like that, and someone says something about the sun, and I said it's a mass of incandescent gas, and then Zoe
Giant
will say a
nuclear
gigantic
furnace.
nuclear furnace.
You know, that's a good test. If you need to find out if someone's a good person, if they can't finish that phrase, you boot them to the curb.
Right, exactly.
Denzo.
All right. Well, with that said, I really got nothing else.
We can add our songs to our Spotify playlist, and
Yes.
I will check out some of the mentions that you had. I wrote them down because obviously we've got a long trip next week, so gonna need some new music to check out.
Absolutely. Well, if anything, go and check out the I Could Get Into This playlist, and you can download it to your device, and then you don't have to worry about streaming while you're driving either. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Or flying.
Or flying, right? Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to take some I Could Get Into This Vegas pictures next week.
Oh my gosh.
I could get into this. Leah, stop getting that face tattoo, please. I would never get. I mean, I have my eyebrows tattooed on, so I guess technically I have a face tattoo. It's pretty
Right.
metal.
Yeah. No, that's not gonna be me.
Let's
Anything,
get
maybe I
tattoos
should-
in Vegas.
Maybe I should get tattoos underneath, where I
Under the
usually have my
beard,
beard
yeah.
now. Yeah.
It's that little cat that's just flipping you off.
Right. It's like, oh wait, you see what I got here?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
my
feel like
gosh,
Donna's
I
gonna be like, no. No, veto this hard. She's right. That's a bad idea. No face
And
tattoos.
Brett never gets rid of his goatee again.
Yep,
or
and then
his
he's never
beard
allowed to
again.
shave his beard. I want you to lose a bet and have to come home with like tattooed eyeliner or something stupid like that.
Oh my gosh. You
Well,
never know.
I'm gonna be now permanently stuck in my emo phase. Thanks a lot, Leah.
You
There's
never
worse
know.
things. Never know. We'll see, guys. If it happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas, right?
Yeah, or else it comes onto the show.
That's right. Well, who knows? Like I said, maybe we'll have some sort of crazy adventures, and we'll fill you guys in on what we're getting into. Tax evasion.
Maybe we'll
Mafia.
just have to use our cell phones and just record and
Yes.
yeah.
We're live from the strip. I'm getting in this guy's car. Leah, don't.
And that's how
funny
he
'cause
lost
it's true.
Leah. But what?
All
He
right.
had cats in there.
He said he needed a hug.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, I guess every listeners will catch you guys next episode. Brett, I'll see you in Vegas.
all right. Sounds like a plan. We'll see you there.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.